Do you run on Einstein time? Today, we're going to dive into this fascinating concept. It's something I've learned about fairly recently, and I have been trying on for size, and I've been amazed at the results. I'm so glad you're tuning in live, catching the replay, or listening on the podcast. My name is Yong Pratt. I'm a 17-year performing arts studio owner turned chief dreamer and podcaster right here at Our Young Creators. Here at OYC, we are passionate about helping people to harness the power of technology by learning skills to become creators on their devices and not just consumers. Whether you're looking to harness the power of technology for yourself or want to use it as a tool to bond with your kid over the time they're spending on their devices, you are in the right place, my friends. Today, we're going to talk about Einstein time. I mentioned this to a friend earlier after we had our interview on her podcast, and I'll make sure that I leave the link for the interview over on Cindy Lou's page below this video today. As you are tuning in live, I would love for you to say hello and let me know where you're tuning in from today. And if you're listening to the podcast, I'd love to invite you over to our website, ouryoungcreators.com, and you can find today's episodes in the blog section of the website. So, Einstein time, what is it? Well, I recently had some friends recommend the book The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And if you haven't read the book or heard of it, I highly recommend getting a copy for yourself, either in print form or audio form. That's the way that I enjoyed the book, to listen to what he has to say. He talks all about how often in life we create upper limit problems for ourselves. If you think back to a time in your life when things were going really, really well, things were running smoothly, your business was doing well, your relationship with your kids was going really, really well, we have this little voice inside that puts on the sirens and starts questioning about, this life cannot be this easy. I wonder what about this? And maybe worry starts to set in. And all of a sudden, we go from a place of joy to a place of worry, and we start limiting our ability to continue to live joyfully in every moment. It's an interesting concept, right? Towards the end of the book, he talks about something called Einstein time. So, Einstein time is all about how we as individuals can manufacture our own time, how we control it because it comes from within inside of us and it's not something external to us. And I know this might sound really woo-woo to you, and it did to me in the beginning too, because like most people, we have a Newtonian view of time. Time is finite. We either have enough time or we don't have enough time to do something, or we have too much time on our hands, right? There's always that paradigm of time being a constraint. Whereas in Einstein time, if we think about time coming from within and we control the parameters, we can actually squeeze more into our time than we previously thought possible. Over the past couple of days, I've really been diving into Einstein time, diving into a project without regard to my calendar, which I know sounds super contrarian because I'm kind of addicted to my Google Calendar and live by it. However, when we chunk up time, like that, we don't often allow room for creative flow or creative ideas to emerge because we're so worried about the clock. Have you ever experienced a time when you're so in the zone or you're in flow and time passes? However, you're able to accomplish huge feats, huge tasks in a very condensed amount of time? Well, that's exactly what Einstein time is all about. It's about having this perception and this belief that we control how time works for us. This morning, for instance, I had a number of things on my plate to get done for our round 2 of podcast in a weekend. And I was thinking about Einstein time and thinking about how I control the time. And I have plenty of time to get everything that I need to get done for today in this amount of Einstein time. And the crazy thing is that when I intentionally walked into these tasks with this notion, I was able to complete them all in a really short span of time. So, in practical terms, what does that mean? If you put yourself on Einstein time and you set out to do tasks and you get them done in a faster manner than you thought possible, you're left with time you can now spend doing other things like building your relationships, working on your business, spending time in your community, spending time with people you love. In the book, The Big Leap, Gay talks about how he's able to work half as much with this idea of Einstein time and get twice as much done. Does that sound like something that you may be interested in doing? I would love to know if you're up for a challenge. If you want to live in Einstein time with me through this week and test out this theory with me, I would love that. It's something that I'm just learning now too and want to lean more into it. And I certainly could use support, and I'm happy to give you support right back so we can really harness this idea of making time work for us rather than having time as this oppressive thing that is outside of our physical bodies. How does that sound? Another way we can make Einstein time work for us is to, again, get more stuff done in less time than we thought possible. This weekend, we're kicking off round number 2 of Podcast in a Weekend, and we're going to learn more about Einstein time because once we focus on a task, in this case, getting our podcast done, and we take the action and we're in this space of creativity and flow, we're going to be able to create your podcast faster than you thought was possible. I've even had students report back to me that it took them less than 4 hours to get this course done. So if you're ready to play around with Einstein time with me and you're interested in creating and launching your podcast this weekend, I would love for you to check out all the information about podcasts in a weekend right below this video. Christy says, Einstein time sounds amazing. And Christy, 100%. I've experienced this over the past couple days, and I find I'm able to really get so much stuff done, and I have time left over, which is blowing my mind at the moment. So let's work together, figure out this Einstein time. Let's work together and get your podcast launched this weekend. I don't want you to keep it on your dream board or your vision board or in your head up here with all the other ideas floating around. I want you to get it out of your head, get it into action, because There is someone out there waiting for you, for your message, and to let them know that they are not alone on their journey. Podcasting has become one of the greatest gifts I've given to myself because I've discovered that I love connecting with people and sharing amazing people with all of you and highlighting their gifts and talents. And that's exactly what a podcast can do for you. Whether you're doing it for yourself or with your kiddos, it doesn't matter. Everyone is able to do a podcast these days, and I'm going to show you my secret ninja strategies and tricks to get more done than you thought possible. And when we mix in Einstein time with this class, I cannot wait to see the kind of magic that you are going to create this weekend. Okay, my friends, I wish you an amazing day. I look forward to seeing you inside of Podcast in a Weekend. And if you're game, to test out this idea of Einstein time with me. Cheers, my friends.